What's up, y'all? We are here for Paulcast number 11. All right. Woo-hoo! Today, we are going to talk about the making of the video Take What You Want. If you've not seen that, get back on the channel, rewind it, watch that video so that this makes sense to you. Otherwise, you're not going to know what's going on here. And anyway, we decided to break from the way that we've done our normal podcast and do a Zoom version of that so that we can actually make the video the primary thing that's up front, sort of ridiculousness style. And we're going to hit pause. Dylan's going to be our VJ, and we're going to say, pause, stop. And then as you're watching it, if we don't touch on something and you want to tell us what your favorite parts are, least favorite parts are, parts that made you cry, laugh, want to go hug someone, or just sing along, that's fine too. Go ahead and put all that in the comments below. And that's how we get to interact and communicate with you guys and make this super fun for everybody. We want to know how you enjoyed it. We kind of know how we enjoyed it, and we're excited to do this part for you. But the most important part and exciting part is to hear what you think. So pop it on down there in the comments. All right. Thank you much. Let's get started.
All right. Take What You Want coming at you.
Come on. I love the little VHS screen start. That was fun.
Old school.
Old school. Oh, Dylan, that's your ring, I think.
It totally is.
That's cool.
I'm not wearing it right now, but
we just put on each other's jewelry to make this film happen, I guess, or whatever, right? Hey, pause it right there for a second.
Yeah.
So, like, we got little globes. I'm looking at this background. There we go. Hey, you're good. And then I noticed we got like some like silvery background stuff. It looks like I'm inside like the Millennium Falcon. Like this whole space theme.
We rented
and
the
the
Millennium
set
Falcon. Yeah,
turned out pretty cool.
Incredibly
We shot this at
expensive.
Disney World.
I have to admit, unfortunately, we were not at Disney World. Maybe we can go there after this video makes enough money.
There you go.
But, Red, how do we get in space? Why are we there? I'm still wondering the answer to this question. And how did you make that happen?
So me and my very talented girlfriend.
Oh gosh, this might take a while.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Cool the jets there, compadre.
We decided basically just to try and go a little above and beyond for this music video. We wanted this to be really good. So we were kind of just like thinking to ourselves, how can we really sell this idea? Because this was a little bit after we came up with the concept of having it like all be in space. So basically we just were brainstorming a little bit, and we decided to make a run out to just go to the grocery store or whatever. We decided, let's go to the Dollar Tree. Let's just see what.
Wait a minute. You just said we really cared about this one. We were going to put a lot into it. And you went to the dollar store to make the set?
Well, within my budget for making this.
Wait, you had a budget?
So that means all the other ones we had to actually beg for money to do.
This was
you could spend a couple pennies on this one. Okay, continue.
This was like tip money. But yeah, so we just decided to kind of take a gander, and the more we thought about it, the more we got into it. And basically we just decided to take an entire day and build not only a wall piece, but also a whole control panel for you to kind of like act like you're flying around space.
And much like sets of real films, this is not an entire wall of stuff or control panel as you see there. It's just building enough of it to fit within the frame of the shot and create the effect of what we've got going on there.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Cool. Let's move it on. We'll talk more about the space theme as we get into it and how that came about here in just a minute. But yeah, you can see here all this sort of stuff that's going along, very Millennium Falcon kind of deal.
Can I tell one quick story about the pieces behind you real quick?
Yeah, you have the ability to pause and let's hit pause right there. That's good. Leave me in a painful position.
So when we decided what we were going to use for the backdrop, we decided that instead of spending money on buying the pieces itself, we kind of had enough from like the new computer I got and the new desk chair that I got that we were able to kind of forge out of cardboard a wall. So we tested that. So we went, okay, we'll spend the budget.
And you can sort of see that here.
Yeah.
That's right. Whole thing.
So we said, okay, we'll kind of go and put the budget onto spray paint. That way we can like actually dress it up.
You know you're making top dollar films when the budget says, guys, we're going to spend a little this time.
We're going to splurge.
We're going to actually buy some spray paint.
So
and you actually found some rivets and bolts and stuff, right? And screwed those into the cardboard to make it look more like a real ship. Okay.
So what ended up happening was just like we put the wall together kind of roughly, just kind of laid it out, and then we taped it all together and we spray painted it, and then we glued nuts and bolts on it to make it look like rivets on a spaceship. But the funny thing is, you're not supposed to spray paint indoors. I didn't know
fair
why.
enough.
Wait, I'm going to write that down
why.
real quick.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
You've not done a lot of graffiti in your past.
Really put it. I have not. But yeah, no. So I found that out the hard way when the fire department came to my house at midnight on a Tuesday, and I'm up here spray painting pieces of cardboard for a movie set. So I had to walk through what I was doing with like literally 3 different fire trucks.
And they didn't call the police to come go or the psych unit to come get you and go, why is this dude he thinks he's like in Star Trek or Star Wars or something and wants to recreate his house.
But we got 3 fire trucks worth of people pulling up at
sweet. Let's keep it rolling. Amazing. I love that. Fortunately, all the fumes had cleared out by the time I had to get on the set. Whoa, stop this. What's going on here? Back her up. Not to my new haircut spot. There we go. That one right there. I guess my new haircut shows up in that too. Yeah. But anyway.
I think it looks great.
You guys made me shave my head for this thing. You were like, there's no ball caps in space. I was like, that was kind of my thing.
Rules are rules.
You guys change it up for me. And decided to make me Pitbull in space or something, or Terminator
in space.
Terminator in space. I don't know, Jason Statham or who was that guy? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
I'll go for that.
So cool.
Why not?
So cool.
Yeah, I know.
You're like you're basically an expendable at this point. This is what it takes.
Or like,
he's expendable.
Yes. not
not an expendable.
So, what's going on here? We recorded this in front of a green screen, right? And that's how we got all these layers right here. And the only green screen experience I'd ever had was on the Today Show. In between cutting to live, I got to mess around with Al Roker's little weather screen over there, and that was a lot of fun. But it was never broadcast. This is broadcast. Now I'm officially broadcasted on a green screen here. Indeed. And you guys made rocks show up. It looks like there's some green swirly mist space gels or something floating around, and then there's all of these wonderful little numbers and stuff that make me feel like I'm part of a Terminator movie. Explain the green screen thing and where that came from, and this scene.
Yeah, I mean, so basically it came from listening to the song a whole bunch and kind of trying to make a mock idea of what we were going to do. See, normally we just kind of sit together and write out a pitch for what, a couple of different flavors of the music video could be. And this time I just had a real hard time writing a pitch for this one. Like, it just wasn't coming to me. So what I decided to do was just go into my video editing software and mess around with a bunch of different pictures and just kind of animate them along to the music the way I thought it would come out well in my head. So
you spaced out a little. And then you said, let's go in space.
Yes.
Okay.
So then I pitched them the kind of slideshow animation that I had made of what this video could turn into. And
who is them?
You and Dylan.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if there were other people that I didn't know about that were involved in the making.
The BOD.
The 2 people I'm talking to right now. But yeah, no, it just kind of it sat well with them and it sat well with me, and we all just kind of listened to the song a little bit more, and it was space. We're going to go outside our comfort zones. Let's really go out, you know?
And I'm a fan of space. And speaking of going outside of the comfort zones, first of all, I just thought space was cool. I've always wanted to be an action hero. And so you told me I got to be an action hero and be in space. So I was pretty much sold right from there. We also looked at some other videos, some weekend videos, Post Malone videos, that sort of thing. And I think what went along with this is there's split personalities in this video that kind of join the split personality of the audio recording of this.
Yeah.
This is a trio of Ozzy Osbourne, Post Malone, and Travis Scott. 3 guys that most people would never think to put together in something. And so we had to be willing to go out there and be a little outlandish in the video because the music, but yet bring it all together because the music went out there, but then had to bring it all together. When I was making
the out there, it's hard to bring them together in a concept.
Yeah, so your audio's out here, your video's out here, and then we got to bring it all together and make this whole thing happen. And when I was making the tracks for all this, and for those of you who are watching this maybe for the first time and don't realize, the 3 people that you see on the screen are the 3 people that made everything that you see in here. I do all of the tracks. Dylan and his other other buddy Dylan. We did bring in one other person to lay down some awesome drums for this thing, Dylan Rawson. So that would make 4 people for this one, and then a 5th. Okay, fine, for Paul Mackinson, who is our actress extraordinaire, who was also our wardrobe and co-set designer and builder and all that good stuff. And she also kept us well hydrated throughout the whole making up. But anyway, but it's basically the 3 of us that get together, put these concepts together, make these videos, do the music. So when I'm building tracks and putting all those together, the intro starts out. This is a little fun fact for those of you that may want to know this. It starts out with a little guitar lick in the very beginning. It's my grandfather's nylon string guitar that I got handed down to me when he passed. And we try to do these little flavors of things that, nobody may ever know about unless they get this far into, a podcast and hear about it, but that are somewhat personal to us, but also make the song different and make the elements different. We're going to get to a rocking part in the middle here that Dylan and I worked quite a bit on to get the sound right. That is so far from the original, yet kept the song going without changing the form of the song. And then in the video, that's kind of what we wanted to do too, was get the video to have its split personalities and attitudes throughout this. So let it roll. Let's see some more personalities and things coming through we can talk about here. A lot of audio. Keep it rolling. But lots of audio effects going on with background vocals that were important to give it the space and the depth and all that. And when you're only one singer, we ended up with like 25 tracks of background vocals, but lots of delays and reverbs and echoes and things like that. And then go ahead and pause it for a second. You're also seeing, we probably can't get back to the part where I'm not singing. But you're also seeing some laser lights and things. This whole video, much like the reason I brought that up, much like the audio has a lot of layers and moving parts going on to it, this video has a lot of little layers going on that end up making the overall thing happen. So here we've got lens flares. We had a laser light going on in the room against our fake set, another layer of stuff on top of all that. And it was really cool to see all the different layers of film equal all the different layers of music throughout the whole video as it came to life too. And that's where I felt like they all just kind of, the whole concept of it all just sort of married together when all that happened. So anyway, keep that rolling.
Cool stuff.
By the way, this was all shot in a bonus room of a house.
Sure was.
Yes, it was. 2 20 by 40 green screens just hanging in my windows
Yeah.
at the time.
It looked so funny from the outside when you pull up and just see studio lights and green screens hanging out of over a bonus room window.
My neighbors must have thought terrible things about it.
Or great things.
And lasers shooting out of the windows. Whoa, stop the camera. Hold on, what's happening here? Am I actually floating through space?
We made the man float through space.
How did you make me How did you make me float through space? I don't even understand this yet.
It's real simple. We built a 30-foot jib video crane in my bonus room for under $100.
I love it. From Home Depot.
From Home Depot. Then we shoved a box under Paul's back.
No, it was not a box because I have the actual prop here to show you.
Oh, that's true.
These Paul Reed Smith guitar cabinets
are good,
which show up later in the video. We actually threw a green screen over top of them, and I laid on them on my back and then just swam. Hey, I'm wearing shorts, by the way, in case y'all want to know. And I just enacted swimming over this green screen. Y'all had this movie camera over my head while I'm looking at things. It was one of the weirdest experiences. I only thought you could use a green screen. I mean, obviously Superman, we all know he did that, but I never thought I'd ever be part of a green screen film where I would be laying on my back and then faking like I'm actually swimming, laying on this
through space
amp and then you somehow turn it into me floating through space. It's one of my favorite parts of the video. One of my wife's least favorite parts of the video. She's like, are you floating through space? Is this really what's happening right here? My son thinks it's cool because I actually became an action hero at this point. As I'm floating away. Yes. And I'm like in a space movie or something, you know? But yeah. Anyway.
Well, and that's all animated. Like that's literally me animating you zooming outward and twisting as you come down.
See, the green screen just became space, and you just made layers. I don't even know.
Yeah,
is that how that works?
Yeah, and honestly, what I think is one of the cooler parts about this is that
boots.
Yes, the boots are awesome. The boots are.
These are Nike AF1 high top thingies.
Yeah,
I actually have no idea what they're called. My buddy Will Dowdy got those for me, but they're like anyway. Go ahead.
No, they're the best. Seriously, I'm going to steal them from you at some point. Anyway, so basically, what's really cool about the space effects that we used is that they're all free background images and moving images that you can download for free.
We are teaching people how to create music videos on a budget here.
Yeah.
Literally, the green screens were sheets that I bought off of Amazon.
Yep.
That we hung from the existing curtain rods in the bonus room.
Yep.
You went way above your budget of anything we've done in the last 6 months and bought 2 cans of spray paint. Dylan's managed to have all the stuff we've needed and hasn't really had to spend any extra money at this point. So he's figured it out.
I have things.
But anyway, yeah, it turned. Let's roll. This was fun. There we go.
More layers.
More layers. It looks like it's snowing. Oh, wait a minute. Now I'm Hey, pause it. Go back there. What's fun about internet lagginess when you're watching a video and it's like you're watching it in slow-mo. I actually never saw that until just now that I was floating over while I'm singing at the same time.
Yes, sir.
This video just got more fun to me as we're speaking. There it is right there. I'm floating and I look like an uglier version of George Michael.
I think you look like a better version of George.
Oh, see, aren't you sweet? And he was like the perfect front man. We could have an whole episode just talking about how one of the best voices ever, best front man ever. Anyway,
you guys can take that episode on your own.
I'll take that. But like, this is so fun to see. Like, I'm floating. And I'm anyway. That's cool. That's cool effect. I never noticed that the dude was floating while I was singing. Oh well. Anyway, go ahead.
Multiple layers.
Cool. I just kicked myself in the head. It's like a Karate Kid movie. This is like our Captain Kirk guy. So we gave each guy. There I am again, floating out in the way background in Mars apparently. All right, pause it right here before we get to this section. Oh, Dylan. I tried to get it in quick enough before we saw what was about to happen. So before we get to the guitar rocking part there, what we have here is we basically gave character names along the way because we edited this not all in the same room every single time that we had revisions of things. So like you'd work on it, you'd send me some stuff and whatever. So we nicknamed these guys. Like, so the dude in the chair right here, close up, is Captain Kirk,
obviously,
right, and he's rocking the ship. Then we have, when the guy's sitting back in the chair, we actually called him like
chill guy
sitting in chair. So he didn't really get much of a nickname, but it felt like I was Han Solo in that moment of if he was flying the Millennium Falcon. And then we had Terminator Shades guy.
Yep.
Which is who we just saw. And then, do we have any other characters? But anyway, what I'm getting to is then we took these character names and we shortened them down to just initials. So this was like CKG, Captain Kirk guy. Anyway, so sometimes you have to make up little. Oh, and then this was. I don't know. I think this was George Michael guy or something.
Yeah, they called him GM the whole time.
GM, that's right. Yeah. So we went from CKG to the GM. That's what I was trying to get out.
And so this even goes down to like an actual film set, because I was lucky enough to make a film over the weekend last week, and we did that for each
Shameless
scene.
plug.
Shameless plug. But we came up with a different film title, like to match the letter of what scene we were on. So if it was like A, it was like, okay, it's scene 1 alien. So we had to come up with that the whole time. So every set
sometimes you got to come
words.
up with, you got to have up your own code word terminology so you know where the heck you are. All right. Okay. So Dylan, we're about to get into, before we get into it, this is kind of good. This is the section that we changed in the original song. And we try to do this with all the videos that we put out, that we try to make one. So the Bones video, for instance, switch the hook to the bass instead of the electric guitar playing that for the video. For Castle on the Hill, we actually brought in a castle and we tried to take a completely different concept there, way more acoustic guitar related. So we try to do different things and change stuff up both in the audio and in the video to kind of make it our own thing. But this particular section was probably one of the most dramatic changes from an original that we'd done yet, in that the original kind of goes down a little bit in its music, or kind of keeps it just subdued. And I really just wanted to do something different. I think one of the things that was different is Travis Scott really takes over this section with Shutting On Back and all this sort of stuff. And he's so much cooler than I will ever be, to be quite honest. And I'm not as cool as him. I don't rap. And I was like, what are we going to do with this section? We even toyed with the idea of maybe we should bring in somebody who raps during this section, because I don't want to look like I'm, like some posery dude or whatever who's just trying to be whatever he's not. And so I kind of went back to like, okay, this song has Ozzy Osbourne in it. It's got an incredible guitar solo at the end of it. But I haven't really gotten the Ozzy vibe. I'm not going to sound like Ozzy when I sing it. So you're not going to get the same Ozzy vibe that you would get from his, voice coming out there with his accent to come out, and I can't do that either. So based by my limitations of not being able to sound like Ozzy or Post or Travis, I had to do it my own way. And so basically I was like, what if we just rock the crap out of this? And
always the answer.
And send a mix to you guys with this rock section. And I put it in the car. We were listening to the car as well. And I remember, Dylan responding back to me with something to the effect of, holy balls guitar, or whatever it was, or something like the guitars are just, and like what you guys
verbatim right there.
That was it.
Yeah. What you guys don't know is Dylan is an amazing guitar player. On top of all of his video editing skills and all of that stuff and everything. So, for him to come back and say that the guitars felt really just balls to him. I knew we were on the right path to something. Brutal. That's what it was. Yeah, brutal were the words. And I actually, everyone uses ballsy. The fact that you said brutal, I'm glad you mentioned that. That actually was the adjective that I was going for with him. I wanted them to be painful. Yeah. I wanted people to just
excruciating,
and not just in the way that I played it. right. I wanted it to sound painful in a good way. Yeah. All right.
Not miserable, but painful.
Right. There's a difference. Yeah. Miserable was my first pass. So we ended up with brutal. So we got to the end there of where we wanted to be. But anyway, so we're gonna be cool with all that and get that going as we listen into this next part here, and hopefully you'll enjoy the brutal guitars. Let's keep it running.
Here we go.
So this is my Travis Scott impersonation for those of you who don't know. But
that bit crusher does wonders.
Right?
Sure does.
So yeah, next time you guys listen to Travis Scott, you'll know that I hear heavy, brutal guitars when I hear Travis Scott.
It's really not a bad combo.
I know, right? I like to say my prayers at night.
Like a good boy. That was your favorite shot in the whole video, Paul.
It was.
That was a good one.
There's our random buttons. It's all good.
Oh, here we go.
Another part of the video, keep it rolling, Dylan, that I didn't expect is that I would be playing guitar in space.
We make dreams come true.
With an amp, no less. PRS sent me this shipping bill to get this rig into space, and it was
astronomical.
Was it? Astronomical. I knew I was getting there. Just hoping you were going to catch it up. Hey, pause for a second.
Yes, sir.
There is a leopard shirt that I'm wearing right there.
Oh yeah.
I shouldn't even allow this information to come out.
Are we revealing the origin of the shirt?
This is what this podcast is about. We reveal all of it. And we're proud of everything.
I love it.
Please reveal the whereabouts of said leopard button-down shirt.
So, I have a pretty eclectic wardrobe as it is, just because I tend to collect them as wardrobe pieces anyway, because I'm always doing this kind of stuff. But my grandma was cleaning out her closet a couple weeks ago, and that leopard print jacket just happened to be in there. So I was like, okay, give me that. I'm going to take that and put Paul in it.
And I didn't know that. And I actually thought it was like a really cool Steven Tyler kind of looking vibe. And the next thing I know, I'm wearing a grandma's shirt in a video. It's great.
Hey, but we did really go above and beyond with wardrobe on this one. I just want to say that right now, because we came up with 4 different outfits for you, and they were all really, really good. And down to the point where you borrowed my Naruto X Primitive shirt, which is a pretty hype beastie apparel to be wearing.
I just looked at it and said it's a cool t-shirt. I didn't really know what the guy's name was or anything, but I wore Dylan's ring. Basically, it was like a giant shopping spree of my friends and Goodwill.
Yes.
And grandma's wardrobe.
Yes.
And spray paint from the Dollar Tree. Yeah.
No, that was Home Depot.
Yeah.
We didn't cheap out on the spray paint.
Oh, okay. I thought you had $1. Well, whatever it takes, right? All right, let's keep it rolling.
Rolling.
Apparently needed a lot of prayers. Okay, pause on the globe.
Yep.
Or shameless plug for the bones. Yes, you need to go watch that video too if you didn't know what we were talking about. You need to see everything on the channel. But this globe, I didn't know what it was. It lights up in a bunch of different ways, and you told me that's how I drive the spaceship that we're in, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, we basically just thought, like, as we were building the control panel, like, this needs a big, like, flashy centerpiece to it. So as we were picking up the spray paint at Home Depot, we also saw this big orb LED light that they had in their, like, lighting and home area section. So I went over and looked at it and it was like $20. So I was like, okay, I want this for myself, even if it doesn't work in the video. So I went ahead and bought it and it worked great and it looked awesome. And we were like, okay, well, this is perfect. It'll be like some weird extraterrestrial driving thing for the spaceship. It'll be his, globe-like steering wheel.
Yes. So I show these videos at home, before we put them out, and I'm doing this whole thing like we had talked about it. The cool thing is we all knew that I was driving a ship anytime this happened.
Right.
My wife thought I was caressing something similarly shaped, and then my son was like, dude, that's cool. You're changing the colors with your hand. He thought like I had some magic trick.
Like
so
powers.
yeah. So lots of interpretations of what said globe could do. Anyway, all right, keep it rolling, Dylan. Let's see where this thing ends up here. We're near the end. We're not quite done talking. And then we get a logo. Oh, that was the end. Okay, cool. So anyway, or you can go watch some more of what's on the channel or anything else Dylan's been watching, apparently. Let's see. Let's go into his background of YouTube videos.
A little bag of tricks there.
Anyway, we had a stellar time doing this.
Yes.
I think we've gotten some great reactions on it. And again, if there's something that you all enjoyed and we missed or didn't enjoy or made you cry, laugh, whatever, or hug someone. I think I said hug someone. If this video made you hug someone, we definitely need to know that part.
Yes.
So please go comment on that. Check out the other videos on the channel. Thank you to Dylan, to Red Boy Media for being on this podcast 11 once again. And there it is. There's the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button.
Hit the bell
please
button.
Share. If you want, if you would be so kind as to share and leave the comments. Again, that's not a YouTube thing. As musicians, we're not on tour right now, so this is like our touring, getting to share things like this with y'all. Yep. And so we really appreciate the opportunity to do that. And we'll see you on episode 12 coming at you next time. Peace out.
Peace out.